If Ravana were depicted as the hero, the story would take on a dramatically different tone. This retelling would present Ravana as a noble and just ruler, while Rama would be portrayed as a deceptive and unjust character. Here's how the story might unfold with Ravana as the hero. Ravana, the noble king of Lanka. In this version, Ravana is not just the king of Lanka, but a wise and just ruler who governs his kingdom with fairness, compassion, and great wisdom. Lanka is depicted as a prosperous and advanced society under Ravana's guidance, where his subjects live in peace and happiness. Ravana is a devout worshipper of Lord Shiva, known for his immense knowledge, dedication to the arts, and mastery over the sciences. His 10 heads symbolize his broad intelligence, spiritual depth, and his ability to view the world from multiple perspectives. Rather than kidnapping Sita out of lust, Ravana's actions are motivated by a sense of duty and protection. In this alternative telling, Sita seeks refuge with Ravana after being mistreated or threatened by Rama. Ravana, being a noble king, offers her sanctuary in his palace and vows to protect her. He respects Sita's dignity and ensures her safety, treating her as a guest in Lanka rather than as a captive. Ravana's only intention is to save Sita from Rama's manipulation or cruelty. Rama, in this story, is portrayed as a cunning and power-hungry prince who uses deceit and trickery to gain control over kingdoms. He is not the embodiment of Dharma, but someone who misuses his powers to impose his will on others. His exile is not seen as an act of sacrifice, but rather as a punishment for his own misdeeds. Rama's supposed righteousness is exposed as a facade, and his actions are motivated by ego and a thirst for dominance. The battle between Rama and Ravana is depicted as a fight for justice, with Ravana defending his honor, his kingdom, and Sita's dignity against Rama's unjust attacks. Ravana's forces, led by his loyal warriors, are not demonized but are shown as brave defenders of their homeland. Ravana stands as a symbol of resistance against Rama's tyranny. He fights not for personal gain but for the protection of Dharma, righteousness, and the rights of his people. Ravana's actions are fueled by a commitment to truth and the principles of justice. In this version, Ravana's defeat is not the victory of good over evil, but the triumph of deception over nobility. He loses the battle not because he is wrong, but because he refuses to resort to underhanded tactics and dishonor his values. His death is portrayed as a tragedy, a moment where the world loses a wise and righteous ruler due to the schemes of a cunning adversary. As he dies, Ravana remains true to his principles, proving his integrity even in his last moments. After the defeat of Ravana, Sita does not accept Rama's victory. She refuses to return to Rama, choosing instead to honor Ravana's memory and his noble treatment of her. Sita mourns the loss of Ravana, the king who respected her and fought for her safety. Ravana's legacy lives on as a symbol of resistance against falsehood and the corruption of power. His story is passed down through generations as a tale of a great king who stood up for what was right, even when it cost him everything. He is remembered as a martyr who died defending his people and the principles of justice, a true hero who fought against tyranny and upheld the ideals of righteousness to the end. Themes in the alternative Ramayana, nobility and righteousness. Ravana is portrayed as the ultimate symbol of nobility and moral integrity. His actions are motivated by the desire to protect and uphold what is right, making him a true hero in this version. Corruption of power. Rama's character represents the dangers of unchecked power and how it can corrupt even those who appear to be righteous. His cunning nature and willingness to use any means to achieve his ends highlight the flaws in his character. Justice and honor. The story focuses on the idea that true justice is not always black and white. Ravana's honor, respect for Sita, and commitment to his people demonstrate that a hero can exist even in the form of a so-called villain. Cultural interpretations. This perspective on Ravana is not entirely fictional. In some traditions, such as in parts of Sri Lanka and among some communities in South India, Ravana is already seen as a hero and a great king rather than a villain. These interpretations highlight Ravana's devotion, intelligence, and the injustices he faced, presenting him in a sympathetic light. This alternative version of the Ramayana offers a deeper exploration of the complexity of human nature, suggesting that heroism and villainy can depend on perspective, and that the true measure of a character is not always seen through the lens of traditional morality.